Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Leash, and if you don't know me already, I'm the founder and creator of Girls That Wander, which is a hub for women travelers that want to build their own travel communities. And I wanted to jump on here today to create a video about something that I know is really hot within our industry. And I actually did a Facebook poll a couple of weeks back and asked the girls in my community what they need help with right now, what are they really struggling with, and what can I do to add value to them at the moment. And the top thing that came up was all about engagement, and specifically engagement on Instagram. So today I'm going to take you through 4 steps in order to build an engaged community on Instagram. So before I dive into the tips, I want to talk to you guys about engagement as a whole and what people often think it is, because I know people often say that it's about getting the most amount of comments and the most amount of likes in order to drive up your follower count as quickly as possible. And I get it, you know, I understand the problems, because Instagram is a numbers game at the best of times. You know, you're probably scrolling through your phone and you're coming across these profiles and these accounts that have hundreds of thousands of followers, thousands of likes, thousands of comments, and it's a bit overwhelming. Like, you come across these accounts and you think, wow, how am I supposed to start out when I'm up against all these people that have all of these numbers? I want to let you know straight off the bat, and I hope that this comforts you, that the number of followers that you have and all of this engagement, if it's not organic and it's not meaningful, it doesn't really mean anything, and it's actually just vanity metrics. And vanity metrics honestly mean nothing in the long term. So in the long term, say that your goal is to drive people to your YouTube channel or to your blog, or that you're trying to sell some kind of a product. If you just have a community base, or an audience base should I say, full of people that aren't really interested in you or what you have to offer, then in the future they're just going to be sitting there as ghost followers, and it's not going to mean anything. I just wanted to let you know that in this video I'm not going to be talking about extreme growth hacking methods to boost your engagement, because there are plenty of videos out there that are like that, and I also think any of us can jump into a Facebook group or an engagement pod or a follow loop in order to hike up our metrics really quickly, and that's not what I want to talk about today, because I don't believe that that's what's required in order to actually have influence within the travel industry. Anyway, let's get into the steps, and each point has some actionable tips that I've pulled together in order to get you on the right path when it comes to engagement. So let's get straight into it. So the first step that you need to take in order to build a highly engaged community on Instagram is to let them know, and for you to deeply understand your why. And I know this video is all about engagement, and I'm not trying to trick you, it's just I think that this is a really important step that people miss. You're not going to foster an engaged community if you don't understand why it is that you want to create an audience or a community in the first place. You'll get to a position where if people don't understand what it is that you do, why it is that you're doing it, and you don't understand that yourself, then everything is going to lead to some confusion, which is not what we want. So what I want you to do right now is to think about 2 things. The first thing being, I want you to think about your reason for starting this travel Instagram in the first place. Now, other than the fact that you may have started an Instagram for family and friends and sharing moments, I want you to think about why you want to create an Instagram in the travel space. You know, is it that you want to share local travel tips and inspire people to go to certain places? Is it that you have an interest of slow travel or traveling with dogs, something like that, and you want to create a shared community around that specific interest? Or is it that you simply want to leave your 9-to-5 job and you want to travel more and you want to document that life to inspire people? You know, there are lots of different routes in, and each of those different routes have different content strategies and different audience building strategies. And the second thing that I want you to think about is your motivation. You know, what is it that's going to get you up every single morning and have you working on this Instagram account? Is it popularity? Is it that you want to make money online? Is it that you want to inspire people and leave a legacy behind? You know, all of these things are your key drivers. They're the things that are going to make you want to do this. So based on those things that you've thought about, I want you to reflect on the following. So firstly, does your Instagram bio reflect what you do and everything that you're about? If someone was to stumble on your profile today, would they just get it? Secondly, I want you to think about whether Instagram is actually the right thing for you and your goals and your desires. If your goal is to just travel more and make money online, then maybe growing an Instagram community isn't the thing that you're actually interested in, and maybe you should think about getting remote work or something like that instead, because it might help you to achieve your goals much quicker. And the final thing I want you to think about is whether you're going to be willing to work on this every single day. You're going to be willing to put your heart into it, because what I'm not going to say to you is that building a travel community on Instagram is easy. It isn't. It requires quite a bit of hard work, and it requires you to put the hours in, so you're going to really need to love it. So the second step that you need to take in order to build a highly engaged community on Instagram is to start building real relationships. And this is one of my favorite things to talk about, honestly, because when you start thinking about your audience as more than just followers and you start thinking of them as real people that you can engage with, you will see such a big step change in how they view you, your brand, and your business. Like, I can't say that enough. So personally, I can speak to this from experience, because I have seen the most momentum with engagement for both Girls That Wonder and my personal page when I have taken the time to interact meaningfully with people. So for example, what that might mean is I engage with travel creators from London because I live here, they live here, and there's automatically a connection there. So I might engage with their posts because I know that we might then also meet up and shoot content together. Another example is when I was in Vietnam a couple of years ago, I took the time to message a creator that I saw was also traveling there. We'd been following each other for a while, and I met up with her and we explored together, and it was really great. And I've done that a couple of times now. And then what happens is you end up building these actual genuine connections with people. It becomes less about, just comment on each other's stuff flippantly, and instead it becomes a real life connection. Actually, if you met them in real life, you could call them a friend. What I'm saying is, when you start to look at relationships from a bigger picture, you begin to see that the people that you're interacting with on Instagram aren't just these like little weird avatars that live within the Instagram app. They're actually real, living, breathing human beings that have goals and ambitions and dreams, and they might be on a similar journey to you. You should try to be as intentional as possible with the people that you're engaging with. So if you have similar interests, if they're writing about a topic that speaks to you, that resonates, then you should engage with that type of content because you would if it was real life. For example, the way that I would start off is by engaging with people that are in your niche. So start off small, start off specific, because it's just a good jumping off point. So if you go into the Instagram app and go into the search bar, what I would do is type in a keyword that relates to your niche or to your theme or the thing that you're going to be talking about. So for this example, let's go with slow travel. So if you type in slow travel and then click on accounts, you'll see a list of different profiles that have also put that keyword in their bio. So it means it's really important to them. It's something that they're probably going to be talking about. So what I would do is I would go through those different profiles, see if they're a match for me. They might be a similar demographic, they might live in my local area. And then I would just start following some of these profiles and start engaging with their content if it speaks to me. So you want to make it as natural and as seamless as possible. So that's my first step, is to just follow some of these accounts and engage with them, and you'll see that they'll probably interact with you back, especially if your bio is really optimized and it's really clear that you're also talking about that topic. And that leads on quite nicely to the next point, which is all about interacting with people of a similar follower count to you. And the reason you want to do that is because you'll start to attract the law of reciprocation. So if you comment on their post, they're going to be likely to comment on you back, because you're both pretty much on a similar growth journey. You're both going to be working towards similar things, especially if you're talking about the same topic. So you become advocates for one another, and that's really important, because realistically, say if you interact with someone that has 1,000 followers, less than that, if they then share your content because you've built up this relationship with them and vice versa, you might get your content in front of 1,000 new people that might not have seen your content before. So don't get thrown off by numbers, because 1,000 new people could be following you if you just follow this method. So the next thing that you can do is that when someone posts something that really resonates with you, their content speaks to you, you read the caption, you feel some type of way, or the same thing if they post a story, why not tell them that? I think one of the best ways to build relationships is to have real interactions with people that mean something. So when you're leaving a comment, instead of just leaving something, that is just like love this with a love heart, why not ask them a question or or engage with their caption in a way that shows them that you care or shows them that you've actually read what they've written. And you can even take that one step further. You know, you can drop them a DM. So off the back of their stories, why not drop someone a DM and ask them a question? That then starts to create a bit of a dialogue, and then you'll start to build a real relationship, especially if you take it into DMs. Don't take that part for granted at all, because if you're able to move relationships into DMs and have those kind of one-on-one interactions, you're going to build such a more engaged community of people that are going to really care about you and what it is that you have to offer, because they'll see that you're a real human, you have real feelings, you have things that you care about, and that is what draws us to one another. That's what makes us humans. The third step that you should take in order to build a highly engaged community on Instagram is to make sure that you're adding value. And what I want you to do right now is take a couple of minutes to think about some of the people that you love following, that you love to follow, you're engaging with their content all the time. And if you need to pause this video right now to have a think about it, then do it, because this is one of my favorite exercises to do. Now, hopefully you have a couple of people in mind, people whose content that you love to interact with. You're always replying to their stories, you're saving things, you might even be purchasing things off the back of their recommendations. And I want you to think about what it is that makes you want to follow them. What is it about them that's really drawn you in and keeps you following their journey? Is it that they're entertaining you, inspiring you, or educating you about something? If they're doing any of those things, then it means that they're adding value. So that's what I want you to have in mind right now. So what those followers are doing, you need to be doing a similar thing. What value are you going to be adding to your audience? And this is where the essence of influence has even come from. Influence, influencer marketing. I don't want you to get put off by the negative connotations that people have added to influencer marketing, because that is honestly all that it is. All influencing means is that you are drawing in an audience because they want to listen to you, they want to take your recommendations, and then you're influencing them to take an action off the back of what you're saying. So whether it's continuing to read more in a blog post, going onto a YouTube channel, or purchasing a product, it just means that they know, like, and trust you enough to be able to then do those things. So I could talk about adding value and influencing all day, but at the moment I'm just going to keep it simple and say that if you are creating content that relates and resonates with your audience just because you know them so well and you know the things that they are interested in, then you're going to be more likely to build trust with them. And trust is so important, because if later down the line you want to start creating travel guides, for example, or you want to start putting out hotel reviews, or if you want to build a swimwear line, then you're going to need to start building trust with your audience first. And to do that, you're going to need to add value. One way to add value to your audience is, why not turn your caption into a microblog? Especially if you're a blogger and you love writing, why not make sure your captions are digestible and you can just put little points in there for people to digest, and it really shows your knowledge and gives them a reason to then read your full blog because they trust you and they believe in the value that you're offering. If you're not into doing this with your captions, you can also do it with your feed posts, and I'm going to put an example here of how you could potentially do that and keep people engaged. And secondly, the other way that you can add value sounds simple, but a lot of people don't do it, is to ask your audience what it is that they want. If you have built a genuine audience around a specific interest or a topic, then why not include polls in your stories or Q&A stickers and ask them what they want to see more of? I've been doing that on Girls That Wonder recently, and I've been getting some really interesting results, which means I'm going to switch up my content strategy to make sure that my audience feel like I'm speaking directly to them. Adding value to your audience is one of the sure ways to separate you from your competition, because if you are talking to your audience in a way that makes them feel like they are being spoken directly to, if you're solving some of their problems, or if you're just inspiring them to do something that they never would have thought to do or to jump out of their comfort zone, they're going to be more likely to continue following you and engaging with you on your journey than someone that just posts pretty pictures all the time. Finally then, the fourth way for you to build a highly engaged community on Instagram is to make sure that you're being consistent. And on Instagram, consistency is key. If you think about it, there are so many people out there that are trying to get seen with their content, especially in the travel space. You know, there are lots of brands, personalities, businesses that all want to get seen, and with that comes a lot of noise that you need to try and cut through. And the best way to do that is by being consistent. And what does consistency mean? Well, it basically means taking the time to show up. You can't be expecting to receive loads of engagement if you're not out there engaging yourself. Even the basic things like replying to every single comment, replying to every single DM, they're some of the basic things that you should be doing in order to increase your engagement. And I know so many of you are sat there saying, but Leash, I've posted every single day in the last year and I haven't seen any increase in my engagement. But this is the secret right here, yeah? And I'm gonna be really honest with you. There is a big difference between consistently posting and consistently doing the right things. You have to be doing the right things. This is the important part right here, okay? We need to reflect on the things that we spoke about in this video. So, are you building meaningful relationships with people within your niche? Are you reaching out to people daily, leaving meaningful comments, engaging in the DMs, for example? Or are you adding value to your audience? You know, is your content actually speaking to people? Are you entertaining, inspiring, or educating them? That's something that you need to be thinking about every single day. As soon as you become consistent at these things, your engagement will rise. Cool, so I hope you found this video about creating engaged communities on Instagram really helpful. I know it doesn't answer all of your burning questions, but hopefully you've taken some actionable advice away that you can start implementing to your gram. And on top of that, I have created a Instagram engagement checklist that I think will be really helpful for you. So if you want to rewind this video, you can download this checklist for free. I'll drop the link below. And basically what you can do is start to do a bit of a self-audit on your Instagram engagement, because I know sometimes when you watch a video like this, it can be hard to see what you're doing well and where there might be some holes. So I recommend that you download that and start kind of ticking off the things that you might be able to improve. And if you do implement any of those tips and they do help you to boost your engagement, then please do let me know. Or in the meantime, feel free to send me a DM if you've got any questions, because I'm always open to that. I'm always here to answer your questions. And if you're really serious about growing your own travel community, I recommend that you join my free Facebook group. It's called Instagram Marketing for Travel Creators. You can search for that on Facebook, or it's in our Instagram highlights. Just swipe up to join and you'll join a group of like-minded women who love traveling and are also building their own travel communities on the gram. Videos like this I drop in there before they get access anywhere else, so you'll get first access to that and any other kind of downloadable resources. I also have other discussions in there that take place outside of Instagram, so I really recommend that you join that, and it's free to join. So have a go at doing that. And also, if you really enjoyed this video, please make sure to comment below, and if you share it, I really appreciate that. So yeah, thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon.